With the starter motor removed, visually inspect the teeth on the pinion and ring gears. Damaged gears should be replaced. Now let's look at some test procedures used on starters. Place the motor in a test bench or a workbench with a large, sturdy vise. Visually inspect the motor to determine if there are obvious signs of physical damage. Check that the pinion turns one way easily and locks with the armature in the other. With a screwdriver, see if you can rotate the armature. If not, there is probably mechanical damage within the motor. If the motor fails any of these preliminary tests, do not attempt a no-load test. Only perform a no-load test after obvious problems have been corrected. It may be necessary to take the motor apart to examine its components. If the motor seems to be functioning properly, further testing may proceed. A good way to check the condition of a starter motor is to energize it while it's removed from the vehicle. This is called a bench test. Attach the motor to a fully charged 12-volt battery. A remote starter button is placed across the B and S terminals of the solenoid. The load tester inductive lead is placed over the battery cable and the voltmeter placed across the M terminal and the field frame of the motor. To accurately perform this test, a tachometer or phototachometer should be placed on the end of the pinion to determine the rotational speed of the motor. An experienced technician may be able to evaluate the condition of a starter motor just by listening to the sound the motor makes during a bench test. The free speed of most cranking motors is between 6,000 and 12,000 RPM. You can expect a much higher sound than would be present if the pinion were engaged with the ring gear and actually driving the engine. When the motor is energized, the current draw, voltage, and rotational speed should be checked against the manufacturer's specifications. The test results generally fall into several problem groups. 1. Too much current and a low speed indicate high internal friction or a bent or shorted armature. A device called a growler, if available, may be used to determine a shorted armature. 2. No rotation and high current is an indication of severe binding or a direct ground in the terminal or brush assemblies. 3. No rotation and no current draw indicates an open circuit in the field or armature, or worn or defective brushes, springs, or holders. 4. Low speed and low current indicate high internal resistance, such as a dirty commutator or defective leads. 5. High no-load speed and high current draw can be an indication of a short in the field coils.